Hello guys, I'm Super Ron, welcome back to the channel and we are back here again at AUTOSHACK. But this week we have got something very special to show you guys. I've filmed over 100 episodes here with cars that we have in the workshop, with big project builds. I even did my Zafira GSI restoration here as well, but they're always filmed from the same angle. And I often get people that come and visit in real life, they're often quite surprised about the layout of the site. So this week, I'm gonna give you a Super Ron, all access, no secrets hidden tour around AUTOSHACK. We're gonna be looking outside, we're gonna look out the front and work out how everything is connected together. Because the layout with the secret tunnel, the doors that open that way and we always come in from the left, it's quite confusing put together. So that is what I'm going to do for you guys today. We're going to open up AUTOSHACK and explore everything together. And it has just occurred to me that what I've got planned for this video, where I'm going to be inserting clips in from everywhere around the workshop, where we've been here before in previous episodes, I've got a lot of editing ahead of me. Our first big regular customer was Car Craze Fool. He used to bring his BMW 2002 in for lots of things. As he kept breaking it, we kept fixing it. This is actually a Honda S2000 powered supercharged 2002. It's got the F20C engine with a Rotex supercharger and produces about 400 horsepower. At one point, we even fitted a sequential gearbox in it for him as well. We have pretty much taken this car apart and put it all back together again in different ways, in different stances. It's got all new rear suspension, tubs, wheel arches. I've rewired the whole car and I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours working on this thing. This was one of our first big projects in the workshop. Quite a few of his cars have come in on the videos because this was pre-YouTube. We had his white GT3 RS in, and like they say, do a job you love and you never work a day in your life, and that couldn't be more true when you have stunning cars like this in. But also over this side of the workshop, something that is regularly talked about and something you've seen many times because it is in the intro of every single AUTOSHACK video here, is the magic tunnel. I think I've done about 60 AUTOSHACK videos and they've all come through this channel. But a little YouTube behind the scenes bit of information, I've only ever filmed one intro. Every single one comes through to the workshop, pauses back here, and then that is when I refilm whatever we're working on that week. So the 60 intros you've seen has actually been the same video. The early ones actually had a pause just as you go through the front door, look at some pictures, and then carry on down the magic tunnel. But as time went on, me personally, I don't really like long intros, so I sped it up. So I think now we'll start with the original AUTOSHACK intro and come through the tunnel.
Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my seat. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my
And this is where the logistics of the property become a little bit strange. Because as you see, we've twisted and turned from the road at the front through the front door to get to this point. So let me show you out the front and show you the map so it's a little bit clearer how we are set up. So this is out the front at AUTOSHACK. We are in a beautiful countryside setting here. We are in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by fields in these traditional buildings, which just adds to the magic of AUTOSHACK. And it's also a little bit of a racetrack. You've seen the intro, we go up at the sign and then we go in through the front door here. To the left here, we have reception and the office. And to the right, we have our storage room, which you've seen me film many times in here before. This is where I built the Zafira engine, which is sitting just here, still going strong. So let's have a look inside, because as we go in, the layout does get a little bit confusing. So as we have the intro to the sign and then through the front door. And that leads us to this little foyer area. And as you come in, you are instantly greeted by the artwork. This is the secret tunnel right in front of us. There's no mistaking as you come into reception. It's very well commented on. And then, as I said, on the early ones, I actually swung around to these pictures, which are two of many magazine features we have done. Little Polo there, and of course the 2002, but that was all before YouTube. And then to our left here is the reception. Carrying on the winning theme, we have got a cabinet full of trophies. Most of these are from Lee's cars in the past. Many trophy winners for his little yellow Polo, which he fully restored himself. More awards up there and all the way along the top. but this is the reception and Lee's office. So luckily for me, I don't have to spend much time in here at all. Lee takes care of all the paperwork, the bookings, the phone calls, the ordering parts. This is his department and his desk. If you've ever come to AUTOSHACK in person, you'll often be greeted by our little mascot. Jeff the dog often sits on the couch and he'll give you a little bark as you come in, so we know you're here. But like I said, I don't really spend much time in here at all. I have actually done a little bit of filming. When I did my RS6 gearbox seal, I actually had the two seals on here side by side, part number and part number. So I've got this one ready, let's go and put it in. And that's filmed on this desk here. So if we come back and hang a right, this is our storage room. This is also where we do all our engine builds. So in here is where I built the Zafira engine. So you might recognise some of the backgrounds here. And of course the window, because I was doing it on Christmas Eve. And a few people did comment that as I was going along, it is getting darker and darker. And then it got light for the next morning as I'd actually worked through the night on the Zafira. But we've got a 20 valve turbo in here at the moment. But most of all, this is just where we keep all our consumables, our army of Henrys. We've also got all our ASU equipment. We've got full injector cleaner capabilities here. So this is where we do our injector testing and servicing. We've also got the ultrasonic cleaner in here as well. You've seen that in many episodes. Probably the latest one was the M5 episodes where we cleaned all the bits in here. And then they were out displayed on this desk. We've got our walnut blaster, which of course is from all the RS4 carbon clean videos. That's where that lives in here. And then we've just got lots of other bits and pieces. We've got the old mirrors from the green 911 that we put the 993 mirrors on. Lots of bits for a 20 valve build. So it's not quite as tidy as the workshop, but we have got a lot of stuff in here. And it's a really handy place for building the engines because we haven't got the dust and the wind from the workshop in here. So this is probably the view you're best used to from any of the engine building videos. So if we head back out and start again at the front door, this is where things get very confusing as we head to the workshop. So as we go through here, we've got reception on the left, storeroom on the right, and we enter the magic AUTOSHACK tunnel. From here, we take a 90-degree to the right. Bit dark in here, but there is graffiti all the way down the walls here. And then as we get to the end, it is a 90-degree to the left. So as we come back into the workshop, the storage room is actually just behind that good-looking fellow there, but it's in a separate building. If we look outside, we are in two separate buildings here, and the secret tunnel is a walkway between them. The most iconic thing, of course, in the workshop is all the graffiti in the background. And this was already here when Lee took over the building. When this was previously VW Antics, Steve had all this done on the wall, and it actually went further up to the top. He had a big mural of VW Antics logo in the triangle at the top. When we came in and took over the building, we wanted to keep all that, so we just painted the top all black. We went round, painted all the walls, all the floor, and it did look pristine. It gave a real fresh breath of life to the workshop. So originally, all these buildings used to be a forge, and then it turned into a garage in the early 2000s. And then in 2015, Lee took over the premises and opened AUTOSHACK. He started here just on his own, and then a year later, he asked me to pop down and have a little look at a wiring job. 8 years later, I'm still here, and I have not regretted a second of it. A little bit of history between me and Lee. We both did our apprenticeships after leaving school at the same places. He is just a couple of years older than me, so he done his apprenticeship when he finished. I was the next apprentice to come through. So I've actually known Lee since I was 15 years old when I just left school. I started there in the summer holidays, and we ended up working together in a body shop for about 7 years in the bays next to each other. I then left the motor trade for other ventures, but when he asked me to come back, I wasn't too keen. But when I saw all the cool stuff that was coming in, I could not resist. And as you've seen from all the work we've got here, the reputation we've built up over the years, it's definitely something to be proud of. And there is something very magical about this place. The other thing that really hampers logistics in here is this door here. So now we know over here is parallel with the road. Over here is 90 degrees in. So if we open these up, we have the big sliding doors. So every car you've ever seen come into the workshop, you've seen us swing round from this way, because directly in front of us there is another building. So as we go out, this is the most awkward bit of getting in. You have to come out and swing from the yard, because this way is another building. So we've got this nice carport area, which you've seen me wash cars. We have to come here, and then it is a really tight swing to get it into the workshop. So this is what those doors look like from the other side. So let's take a look in the yard. We are really lucky to have a massive yard for storing cars out here. It's really useful for when we're doing engine conversions, we can buy donors. And we've also got this, which is next to the workshop. And this is another storage building we have. This has featured in a few episodes. This is where I took the engine out of the Mustang and rebuilt the Mustang engine in here. Also where I stripped down the Black Zafira engine, and that is right next door, just outside those windows that you always see in the background. So here is our yard. We've got a very, very nice RS6 I've been doing lots of work on. But just here is where the two Zafiras were sat when I had my blue Zafira and black Zafira and done all the filming outside. That was just filmed here, which is just by the entrance to get into round the back. So this is mainly our storage shed. When we've got a car with an engine out that's being rebuilt or a gearbox that's being rebuilt and it's sat dead for a while, we'll put it in here so it's not sat outside. This is where the Lamborghini lived for a while when you saw us tow it out of these doors.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you're right. And we've got a few in here at the moment. First of all, blessed by this Trabant that we've got in for one of our regular customers. He's also got the E28 M5 you've seen. That's got seized brakes, so we've got to try and move that. We've got this Mercedes 220 SE, which is for another regular customer, Car Craze Full, which we'll be getting around to some work on that. And we've got the trusty quad bike. You've seen this in a lot of videos. We never push cars around anymore. Hard work is overrated. They're always towed in with the quad and it has never let us down. We've pulled huge American cars in with this, cars with seized brakes, towed the Zafira around with no brakes. And we had to use the rear bumpers to stop it as we went out to the road. We've got this Mark II Golf that we've been rebuilding an engine for. So that's another example of cars that are just dead for a while and we don't need them in the workshop, but we don't want to put them outside either. They live in here. And then also all the caddy parts that I've taken off. It's got the wings, the doors, the wheels. Everything that's not needed at the moment is stored in here as well. We've even still got some Zafira GSI bumpers. And these are all the parts for the Golf. Here's the little dolly that we just had the caddy on. So this is just a really, really handy area to have where cars can stay in the dry. So this by itself is a very nice workshop. This is probably about the size of the G unit, maybe a little bit shorter, but at the end there are our toilets and tea room. So this whole building is probably about the size of the G unit. So if we head back outside, we've got the workshop entrance that side, the yard here, and now we'll go to a view which you've seen many, many times, but wouldn't have known where it is. If we go around the corner here, you may start to recognise this wall. So every time I finish a car and we go out for a test drive, it's filmed going past this wall here. On the way out to the road, we're probably at about this view. And that's where the car drives past every time. And for those that are wondering, this is my little perch, because sometimes in summer you'll see little stinger nettles waving in front of the camera. In winter it's all clear, but this is the view that you've had for all these cars driving past. So we've got round to the yard that side, and this side we'll go through the big gate. brings us back round to the front of AUTOSHACK again. And then that is where we park our customers' cars up out the front. So as you can see, we are surrounded by countryside, even at the back. We wouldn't want it any other way. So this is the big loop that we do to the roadway that way. So let's go back into the workshop. This is a limited edition TT. This is the 240 brake one. It's a 2005, very cool car. We've just done a full recommission. This is the same guy that I did the AMG GTS video, same owner. So let's sneak back into the workshop to a very familiar car. Let's shut these doors back up. Back to your normal view. So let's have a look around the workshop at bits you might not have connected together. So you've seen us many times. Every video usually starts coming out of the tunnel and swinging around into the workshop. We've got this lift over here is our main day-to-day service lift. Just got a Caterham we've done the engine rebuild on at the moment. This is actually one of our very regular customers. You've seen him a few times on the channel. He had the white Porsche 928 that done very well in a video. And he also had the purple MK Indy. And this is his latest purchase. And we've just been fixing a few little jobs on this. And you can see a bit more of the graffiti here. Even up close, that does look super duper cool. So this lift is usually left open for day-to-day work. And this one is of course the one you've seen as the project lift. Cars stay on here for months at a time as I'm working on them. We've even got our own little mini sticker wall up here from over the years, including a Super Ron. So most of the filming you've seen lately has been over in this corner. You can see we've got great light in this workshop, lots of windows. Most of the intros and outros are done over on this wall because it's nice and clear at the back. And then if we go behind the caddy, we have got another ramp. We've got a scissor lift here, just for using smaller stuff. It's good to keep the doors open and closed if we're doing things like that, but still need it jacked up. We've got this lovely E46 M3 Cabriolet on there at the moment. Got the full red leather, which is a very nice combo. We've got our toolboxes, and any bench work you've seen me do and any vice work has been over there. So you're usually perched up on top of the toolbox. Looking at me here. So if we carry on down the workshop, you've seen up here a few times where I've been putting things on the shelf. The 300ZX video had quite a bit up here. The Lamborghini boxes were on there. We've just got our gearbox off there as well. And it's just generally a little storage area. Also where we keep our welders. We've got our MIG welder, spot welder, TIG welder, plasma cutter, along with all things that we might need in the future. We've often dug out old wiring looms. We've got lots of spare wire in here, fuel lines, brake lines. So if we ever need anything, we've all got it ready. We've got coolant hoses, boost pipes, silicone hoses, all good for test fits. So that is up this end of the workshop. Of course, you've always seen the oven in the background as well, which we've got the main doors here. You saw this when we done the full respray on the other E46 M3. We've just done the paintwork on the caddy. So this is where they all enter here. And we've got the Japanese mini back that I did a video on many years ago when we've done lots of paintwork, lots of mechanical work on this. That's just another few bits doing, so you can see how big it is there. Lee has done a ton of resprays. We do a lot of paintwork here, and it's all been done in this oven. This was here when we moved into the building, as it was already a garage before. But it's old, but it does the job perfectly. We did Car Craze Falls E30 M3. We've done a full restoration on that, was resprayed here. You've seen many cars on the channel all be sprayed in there. If we go down beside the oven, you probably haven't ever seen in here before. We've got another doorway into the booth. There's the Mini. But in here is our mixing room and paint scheme. So we've got Novel Spectral. And here's all the scales. And these are all the different tinters, which are like little ingredients that go into every paint mix. So we can mix up any colour, any shade of any car with all these ingredients. We've got hundreds of little cards for checking them as well. So every single colour of every single car is all on here, little colour chips. And then it's all mixed up on the computer. So that is what is behind this door. We built this little wall just to kind of keep it separate from the workshop, because if we're doing any grinding or welding just outside there, that's not the sort of thing you want around paint material. Got all our guns and everything. And again, back here is just another little storage area that we just keep all our consumables, aerosols, and we've also got the compressor in the background. And this is also, I don't know why it's around here, but this is where our press is. So every time you see me press a bearing in, it's been clambering around by the compressor, tucked around behind the oven. I don't know why we've ever got it out. That's just where it's always been. And then above here, we have got a little mezzanine storage area, which where you've seen the K&N banner in the background of a lot of videos. That's not on the wall, that's actually another little mezzanine storage area, which is handy, again, for long-term stuff. Brings us back out into the workshop. So a lot of the more recent subscribers will have come here for the caddy build. So this will kind of give you a view of where we are at the moment when this is being filmed, because I've just got all the bits in for the engine bay and it is all painted. But over this side next to it, you've probably seen in the background a lot. Here's our wash tank where we clean all the greasy, dirty parts up before we put them in the ultrasonic cleaner. And we've got another one here that lifts up and you can clean all the bits there. And I've just spotted the official Lamborghini piece of wood that we had to put in when we had the boot lid wedged open with no rear panel on it. We've got all our jacks and axle stands and everything that's under there. And in fact, pretty much every episode where I've done an intro and outro where you've seen me working on a car, I've been perched on top of this jack. I sit the GoPro on the top, and that is the view you guys get with me sitting on there. Over this side, we've got airline reels all the way around. We've got a bit of wall art. This was an unfortunate accident for one of our regular customers in his Caterham 620R. Kind of changed directions pretty quick, so we kept that as a bit of wall art. We've got all our snap-on stuff throughout, snap-on boxes, snap-on guns, snap-on impacts, the full kit, and our snap-on Zeus scanner. We've also got all this on the touchscreen, so we can just go into any information on any car. You've seen me use that quite a few times over the years. But in here, we are fully equipped. Everything that you need for everyday life. As you can see, everywhere you look, everything is snap-on, even the air guns, torches, a whole workshop full. And they proudly presented us with a whopping banner. Another question I get asked a lot is, how do we cover every single number plate with the AUTOSHACK plates? Well, we've got quite a few of these, and quite simply, we've just glued some little hooks on the back. So it's just little hooks on the sides, and they hook on. Nice and easy and simple. And this is where the rest of them live, and if they don't have room for the hooks, we've just got a little bit of sellotape we stick on, which works a treat. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this little look behind the scenes to see the secret unseen, and hopefully a few more things have made sense around the workshop when you've often wondered, I wonder what is through that door? I wonder how you do get to the workshop. Now you know. The other thing, why I don't tend to film too much exterior, too much entrances, things like that, is this is YouTube. You never know who's watching. As much as I'd like to think that every viewer is a loyal Super On fan, but unfortunately, as the world is, you can never guarantee that. There could be a key piece of information somewhere that allows someone to get in, and I'd never do that to jeopardize the business. So the reason I am doing this now is because by the time this video comes out, we will have moved premises. AUTOSHACK is moving. We've got a massive new premises to go to. It's over twice the size of this one. Unfortunately, we can't take the graffiti with us, but this will just open so many opportunities for us. It's a much bigger workshop. It's in a much better position. We are still out in the countryside, but on more passing traffic. So I am going to be absolutely gutted. This place has got me through some tough times. There's been some instances where I've just buried myself in the work just to get through life, and this place has been my safe place. There's something in the character of old buildings that you just can't replace with a new shiny workshop. The little quirks we've got here are just unmatched. But everything is going to continue and get bigger and bigger as we move along. So what I'm going to try and do next is film a little bit of the new workshop, maybe try to clear out this workshop, moving all the stuff along. So make sure you tune in for that episode, and hopefully I'll be able to get some good footage of the move. But we are going to be very, very busy. We have got a lot of stuff to move. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like. And if you're not already, be sure to subscribe, because we're going to have quite a few workshop videos. We're going to be fully revamping the workshop, getting it as nice as this one. We've got lots of stuff to move in. I think there's 5 ramps there already, which just gives you a bit of an indication how big the workshop is compared to our 2 and a little scissor lift. So make sure you join us then when we will say a final goodbye to this workshop.